Hi, my name is Janae. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna be completely honest and say that I do not have a very specific niche or idea of exactly where my channel is going yet, but I do tend to speak on a lot of topics around spirituality, personal development, and as I am learning and growing in my own life, I am just sharing the things that I've learned along the way. I also like to make random videos of me just cleaning my room and taking care of my space while also sharing some of my favorite music. I'm on this constant growth journey and I'm just documenting all of my findings and hopefully helping others along the way. So I urge you to check out my channel to see if there's anything else that you like, and hopefully you subscribe and stick around, and let's get into the video. Today I want to talk about the power in journaling and why I tend to do it so much and how it's helped me over the last 20 years of my life. I've always been someone that wrote things down, but most recently, these last 2 years, I've learned a lot with journaling, and I just wanted to share why it is so powerful and why you should hopefully do it as well. For me, journaling is an essential mental health tool, and it's amazing for thought clarity and also just getting me on the right path towards emotional trauma healing. I know for me, there has been moments where I felt like there's no one that really understands exactly how I'm feeling in this moment, and I am my own best friend, and so I need to just take this moment to write these things down and talk to myself about exactly how I feel, and just removing that energy onto the page and seeing it for what it is, that is just a really big healing experience for me. I always use this analogy, but if you think about it, your thoughts are like a dirty room. It's like you can't move around and really address everything without cleaning up the space a little bit and seeing the room for what it is. And when it comes on to journaling, you're really just pushing out a lot of the things that you've been thinking about so that you can create some more clarity in your day-to-day life. And then hopefully I can really kind of assess what my problem areas are just by reading it back and understanding what was going on in my own head. My journal kind of looks like chicken scratch, I guess. It's just my handwriting, and it's not meant to look the most beautiful in the world. That's not really the point. The goal is truly just to have a archive of the things that made me the happiest, the moments that made me the most creative, and the moments that weren't so great. And sometimes my thoughts come out looking very confusing and it looks like chicken scratch, but that's okay. So recently I decided to sit down and actually read through my journal as if I was reading a book. And I started to see these little patterns with each entry that I was reading. Having about 3 solid years of entries to look back on, it felt like I was reading the story about a girl. It's me, but I was reading the story of another girl and listening to all of her problems and all the things that made her happy and all of the things that made her very, very sad and what she wanted to change in her own life. I was reading it as if I was just listening to a friend and hearing out all of the problems that she was having. And I noticed these patterns of things that always made me mad and things that always made me very happy and things that I've always wanted, and how I've been chasing those same things or trying to get away from those same things over and over and over again. It started to get very repetitive, and I realized that these are the things that I need to focus on. I need to focus on this thing that's always making me so angry about myself or about someone else. Or I need to start focusing on this thing that I've always wanted. Why don't I have this yet? Why was I talking about this same thing for 3 years over and over and over again? Like, how can I just accomplish that since I wanted it so bad? I started to see the transformation and the repetition of the same girl having the same similar thoughts. And it's really powerful to be able to have record of that. Like, just reading this, like, this girl just wants to be a creative person and feel free to do whatever she wants to do and not feel bound by what her family wants. And she wants to get out of college and move on. She's been wanting her own apartment for pretty much her whole life. Her friends make her very, very happy and she wants to spend more time with friends. She obviously really wants to visit Australia and New Zealand one day. She talks about it a lot. And it's just seeing that, like, this is me. This is who I am right here. If you're ever lost and feel like you don't know what your life purpose is or you don't know what you really want out of life, I urge you to journal, because you will find that there are certain patterns of things that you've always wanted. It just became like an afterthought and you maybe forgot about it, or you thought you forgot about it. But as soon as you start journaling, you start to see that there are patterns and there are things that are always consistent in your life, and you need to focus on those things to figure out who you are, what your purpose is, and where to move forward. Because the answer is, that's why I always say the answer is within you, because this is all me. I'm figuring out who I'm supposed to be just by reading my own journal. Like, I don't need to go on the outside or look to anyone else to figure out who I am, because it's all right here. You know, it's like, that's why I say that the answer is always within you. You just have to listen. Don't feel like you have to journal every single day. I think that there's a bit of a pressure on journaling that I noticed on YouTube, where people talk about it as if it's something that is mandatory, when honestly it's just an extra tool to help you navigate your life. And that's how I use it. I don't do it every single day, but I do it when I had a really great day and I just want to talk about it or write about it. I do it when I'm very angry, because it helps me with that emotion. I do it when the thoughts are really heightened, whether it be good or bad. That's the time when I really find that I write things down the most. But if you do want to be a little bit more persistent and get into the habit of it, maybe you can do a 7-day challenge where you write about your entire week every single day, just to get into the zone and get into the flow of journaling more often. Or maybe you can just push yourself to write 2 sentences a day. It doesn't have to be too crazy. You don't have to write a bunch of paragraphs every day. It just flows. It just happens. And there are days where I look at my journal and I only wrote like 2 or 3 sentences. There's actually a lot that you can learn about yourself with 2 sentences in a journal entry. If I wanted to journal but I didn't have much to say and I just said something random, I put the date and then I say something like, I don't like my boss. I need more sleep. This is not real. It's not how I really feel, but just with those 2 sentences alone, I just realized that I don't like my job and it might be time for me to find a new position. And I also realized that I am sleep deprived. With 2 sentences in a journal entry, I found out 2 problem areas in my life that I can now focus on and try to fix. I think the key to actually journaling more is just writing out that first word. No matter if it doesn't make sense, just follow wherever your thoughts are taking you and write it out, and you'll start to see that there is a flow of more words, more sentences coming out, and it becomes much easier to just sit down and talk about how you feel. I hope my message today really helps you just see the power in journaling and hopefully motivates you to start writing out just a few sentences or a few paragraphs throughout your week and throughout your months to just have a real archive of who you are and where you're going. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today. It really does mean a lot that you are here and you watched this video all the way through. I appreciate you. I appreciate this moment, and thank you. I will see you in the next one. Peace.